Hey y'all, my name's Gene. In this video we're going to be talking about an outside wood boiler. It's a hybrid fire, free heat machine, model 150. We'll be talking about the free heat in a later video. Okay, we're going to have a look at this, see what the functions is. Right here is your temperature setting. Right now it's set on 170. So when this hand right here, this is your temperature gauge. When this hand right here gets to 170, it'll cut off. Goes back down to 150, it will cut on. Right here is your where you test your water at. See if you got enough water in it. You see that little red ball in there? Whenever it's all the way top, it's full of water. But when it gets down low, you need to add some water. I think last year, the whole season, I think I had to add it 3 times. And right here is your light switch. This controls the blower and the light. Then you flip it up, blower kicks on, flip it down, blower's off. Right here's the damper. That's all the way open. I don't never leave it all the way open. I always keep it shut. If you leave it open, it burns more wood and you lose more heat out. So let's have a look inside of it. Okay, this right here has got a water jacket. It's 2 different compartments. Right there's your water lines, right there at the top. That water circulates back and forth. Back here is your chimney. Okay? Now I've done a simulation on this. I'm going to show y'all a little bit more how it works. Right here, like the inside the stove, here's where you put your wood. All this is full of water. It holds 125 gallons of water. And it circulates through these pipes back and forth. Like I say, you got your fire down here heating your pipes up, and it heats the outside too. There's about 25, it probably hold 125 gallons here. Another 25 is in the water lines. Okay, I've taken the cover off the blower. This is what it looks like. Now, like I said, whenever I cut this switch off, cut the light off, the blower kicks on. Now here's your contacts. Keep your blower on. We got some dust coming on there. Blower off, light on. Okay, these right here are the chimney caps. The stack and the cap. That's my, whenever I crank the fire up, the boiler going, that's the one I use. This one right here, I just use it in the summer months because it get built up creosote inside there. But anyway, you need a chimney cap because whenever you get 4 inches of rain and a rain gauge, you get 4 inches down in your chimney there. That'll cause your stove to rust on the inside. Okay, we're going to have a look at the back of the stove. There's the cover. I'll take that off. Okay, we got the back off this wood boiler. Right there's the insulation. It's real thick. It's real thick. Real good rated insulation. Let's take this out. We're gonna have a look at the components back here. Okay, this is your pump right here. It's running right now. I don't know if you hear it or not. It's humming. The water is going up, and it's coming out this one right here. Those water lines, approximately 60 foot long, they go to a radiator inside the ductwork under the house. It just circulates back and forth, back and forth. Works similar to a radiator on your vehicle. Your water circulates through the motor. It's got a thermostat. Goes through the radiator and just circulates. And through your heater coil on your vehicle. Okay. You can also add a pump. You can add another pump right here. This is your electric coming into it. Right here, this is the drain hose. This is where I get my water samples at. And it's got a valve right here, on and off. So I need to get a water sample. See if I need to add any Protect 300 to it. Okay, I've got a water sample here, and that is pretty darn clear. No rust, no corrosion. It looks like it's got a good pH level to it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add another half a gallon. This right here is Protect 300. It's made for boilers. Keeps scale down. It's good pH level and rust, and it's good for stainless and mild steel. It gives up to 2-year protection. But I always add at least a half a gallon starting up the season. Then later on, around March, I'll add another half a gallon. Okay, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add this half a gallon. And right here's your vent pipe. I made this cover to keep the bugs out. If you got a wood stove and you got a vent on it, I suggest making your screen go over. Because bugs get down in there, they get in your pump, you may have a problem. So, we'll go ahead and add this half a gallon. This is a lifesaver of a stove right here. If you was running water through that all the time, you'd have some rusted and corroded pipes. What my lines are is 1-inch pecks. Now I've got to add some water. Okay, as I'm adding this water, I've got to go back to the front and check the water level. Here's this bubble. A few minutes ago it was down to here. So like I said, whenever that ball gets up to here where you can barely see it, well, that's plenty of water. That's enough. And I think it's just about there. When it stops, it's full. So it has stopped. Okay, I've got my winter stack on, so today is Friday 13th, by the way. The weather for next week, 15th through the 20th, I think it's going to be in the low 40s to mid 50s. So I'll have to build a fire in this here pretty soon. Okay, I'm out of the house here. I'm going to show the ductwork and the water lines. This line right here, the one on the left, that's coming from a boiler. The one on the right there is going to the hot water heater. This line right here is coming back and it's going to the boiler. It runs through the radiator, one from the boiler, through it to the hot water heater. Okay, this is your return right here. Your return comes down through this box. Your blower is sitting right here. It's sitting right there in that box. The heat flow goes back, or return goes back, and blows out the vents, the ductwork. All right, what y'all looking at is a hot water heater. When I get ready to fire the wood boiler up, this is your breaker box. I'll come over here and I'll kick this 220 breaker. That goes to the hot water heater. This 20 amp breaker goes to the pump in the wood boiler. I'll turn it on. Okay, right here is your water supply coming in. Here's it coming out to the hot water heater, cold. It comes out here hot. Now, the line coming from the radiator, which is this one right here, runs through this. I'm gonna call this a little radiator. This is your return right here that goes back to the boiler. The way this works is your cold water coming in, you've got hot water coming from a boiler. These little plates right here, they're separated. This water does not mix. Your hot water come through here, and the return. Your cold water come through this line, come through this one, then out this one. That heats up as that goes through there. That's amazing how this thing works. I'd never believed it. The guy told me I'd never run out of hot water. He showed me that, and I said, I was a little skeptical about that. But anyway, check this out. This is 1 inch deep. It is 3 inches wide. And it's 8 inches long. It's hard to believe that works, but believe me, it does. And that water comes Out of here, it's 170 degrees. Going into the hot water heater. And it will burn you if you don't adjust your water temperature. Got to do yearly maintenance on it. Just need to clean this door up right here. We get this old silicone off, right there, all the way around. Scrape all that off. Get this creosote off. Last year I burnt some wood. It wasn't completely dry. That's what's caused creosote buildup. So we need to get that cleaned up. And the tools you need to do that, you need a knife. You need a wire brush. Caulking gun. Caulk. And a putty knife. Or a taping knife. And a pair of gloves if you prefer. So, what we're gonna do here, let's take this knife, this is old silicone right here. We'll run that down through there like that. You gotta go all the way around it. I have to do this every year because it's silicone. That heat gets so hot that eventually melts it. And I run this for 7 months during the winter time. Last year I burnt some wood. It wasn't hardly dry. Had a little moisture in it. And that's what builds creosote up. You burn wet wood. Burn pine wood. Which I don't burn pine, I always burn hardwood. I burn oak, ash, or hickory. You need to get all this old silicone off. Take something like a 1.5 to do this the proper way. Probably have to put probably 2 to 3 coats on it to get it right. Somebody asked me once, whenever I fire this stove up in the winter, I told them whenever the woman sitting in the living room with a jacket and toboggan on, that's time to fire it up. Okay, we pretty much got the silicone from around the perimeter here. What we need to do now, scrape this off. Not gonna get it all off, but you know, you get pretty much 90% of it off. Clean it up. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's got a rope gasket inside here. It goes all the way around the perimeter of the lid, the door. I guess they put that in there. That way you wouldn't have to use so much caulking to fill that in, because that's got to be, the caulking has got to be flush all the way around through here. Like I said, I'll probably have to put 2, maybe 3 coats on it to get it that way. Clean it up pretty good. The silicone will stick to it. Just real good silicone. High temperature. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. Caulking. Yeah, that's pretty clean. Okay, this silicone goes up 500 Fahrenheit. It's high heat. It's made for outdoor wood stove. That's what we use to go around the lid. Like I say, you're not going to get it right first time. Probably going to have to add some more silicone to it. Okay, we got the first coat on. 1 coat's all I'm putting right now. And the method I used to be able to tell if the door is coming in contact, or the silicone's coming in contact with the opening I'll take some wood ash. I'll go all the way around this opening right here. And if it don't come in contact with the silicone, which it will some places will miss, that's where I'll be adding more silicone. Now I might have to wait probably about 12 hours for that silicone to dry. You don't want to shut up now, it'll stick to the opening and make a mess. Closed up a little bit there. The caulk I put on, it's been on for it's been curing for 20 hours. It's pretty firm. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna shut the door and see if the silicone comes in contact with the opening here. Okay, as you can see, the bottom of the door here has came in contact. There's some missed places here. I'll have to caulk again. Up here at the top, it's missed completely. Here on this side, it's got skips in it. So what I'm gonna have to do is put another coat of caulking. I'll put more on the top than I will anywhere else until we have a solid white line all the way around the door. So that'll keep the air out. All right, I've got the second coat on. We need to check, see what the contact is between the door and the opening. And we don't have 100%. It's got to be 100% to keep the heat from coming out the top. That heat will deteriorate the silicone. So we'll have to add another coat right through here and a little here. It's hard to get this done in one coat. While this silicone's curing on the door, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it out. I hadn't cleaned it out since, well, I shut it off in May, around May the 1st. I hadn't cleaned it out, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the ashes out of here. Okay, I've got it cleaned up pretty good. That's about as best to be expected. Unless you take a wire brush and clean all that creosote off, but it'll be all right. Now, I'll show y'all. This right here is creosote. It's just about turned to, I don't know, it's turned to cold, or maybe it's trying to turn to glass. I'm not sure. But that's from burning green wood. The only green wood I burned out last year was some cedar. Maybe the resin off the cedar caused that. Right here is the ashes from last year, around October 15th until May, around the 5th of May. That's how many ashes I had right there. And that is probably around five cords of wood. I'm gonna scoop these up in a bucket, haul them off. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm gonna see how many cubic feet the wood ashes I had from last season. That right there is 10 cubic feet. I think there'll be 2. Maybe, probably about 20 cubic feet. Okay, I've got this cleaned up pretty good. That's my second scoop right there. And that is 20 cubic feet of wood ashes out of 5 cords of wood. Okay, this right here is a cord of wood. It's 4 wide. It's 4 high and 8 foot long. Okay, let's see how good a contact we got with the door and the opening on there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shut that door, and I'm hoping there'll be a white ash line all the way around this. All right, looks like we got pretty much 100% contact with the door and the opening. That's good. The wood boiler is what we use to heat this home. It's 2,800 square feet. It keeps it nice and comfortable. Good warm heat all winter long. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and load this boiler up. Get it ready to fire up whenever the woman gives me the sign. That right there is white oak, red oak, and chestnut oak, which I've got a few cedar slabs I'm gonna mix in with it to get it started. It takes 2 good wheelbarrows to fill that stove up, which it'll hold 2.5. But we'll start with 2 for right now. Like Trump found him a nice, comfortable place right now. The old ash pile. The reason I started cutting this short, I used to cut it 3 foot long. That's before I had a wood splitter. It'll hold 3 foot in the sides, or 4 foot in the sides, and 3 foot in the middle. But this is a lot better. You can put two layers in there, front to back. This split wood stacks a lot better than the round wood. Like I say before, I got a wood splitter. I just cut long pieces to save a lot of work from having to bust it with a wedge and a go dub. So we'll put a little oak and we'll mix it with a little cedar to kick it off. One thing you want to be careful not to do is hit those pipes, burn the top. You knock those loose, you can cause a water leak. Then you've got a problem. You've got a major problem. A little more cedar. Okay, I'm gonna add some cedar tinder and some shavings that came from a table saw to get this thing kicked off. And a little more cedar. I won't put 2 loads of hardwood in it just right yet. We'll get it going this kindling here first. Then I'll add to it. supposed to get up, today's the 14th. It's supposed to get up 77 degrees today. I won't be firing it up today. It'll probably tomorrow. It's probably when that woman's gonna get cold. Well, it's getting late in the evening. Getting a little chilly. We'll go in and see what the woman's doing.
Getting cold in here, Gene.
Well,
Getting cold. When you gonna light that stove?
I guess that's my sign to light the stove.
Chilly.
Here, I want to show y'all this. Whenever this wood boiler kicks off, there's very little smoke comes out of it. The reason for that is the seal around the door. It don't get any air around it. If it gets air inside of it, it'll cause it to smoke, the chimney to smoke. So, looks like we've done a pretty good job on sealing the door. Okay, today is October the 15th, and it's time to get this boiler going. I've got a clock set up here. I'm going to time it. It's 1:45. The temperature on the temperature hand here is 60 degrees. We've got to get it up to 170. And we're going to time it, see how long it takes to get there. All right, we got a light gray smoke coming out of the chimney. If that wood would be wet, if it's green wood, pine wood, it'd be a real dark gray. So that's the right color. Okay, we've reached the temperature 170, just cut off. And it's taken 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I hope y'all enjoy this video. Y'all that owns a wood boiler, stay warm. I don't know if he's asleep or he's dead. Oh, appreciate y'all watching my video. Hit that like button and subscribe.